Come on. All right. We're live. All right. I'll say the prayer. Does anyone have a spiritual thought?
I can do a spiritual thought.
Yow.
Sweet. Thanks, buddy.
Okay. So spiritual thought.
I'm gonna
Hold
pray.
on,
real quick.
we got prayer first. I'll
Oh,
say it.
make me feel awkward. Okay. Let's pray
I'll
first.
say it.
Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this day. We're grateful for this opportunity to meet as a group, and we're grateful for this time that we have to learn together and to teach each other. Please bless us that we can have a good night, that we can understand the material that we're talking about, and we can learn more about business. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Okay. Now I'll share my spiritual thought. Let's see. So my spiritual thought is in Alma 32. This is just my favorite scripture. And so this is the part where Alma and Amulek, they are teaching the people who had just gotten kicked out of the synagogues. So the synagogue, they were all really sad about the fact that, they couldn't go to the synagogues to pray. And so Alma's trying to teach them, that you can pray in your closet, you can pray in your secret places. But he says in verse 13, 14, and 16, what I'm going to read, it says, "And now because ye are compelled to be humble, blessed are ye. For a man sometimes, if he is compelled to be humble, seeketh repentance. And now surely whosoever repenteth shall find mercy. And he that findeth mercy, and endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. And now, as I said unto you, that because you were compelled to be humble, you were blessed." So I'll stop right there. And it just is saying, because you guys were kicked out and you guys had to realize, you know what, we don't have to go to the synagogues. We can pray wherever we want. Like, even though they were compelled to realize that, they were still blessed. But then he goes on to say, "Do you not suppose that they are more blessed who truly humble themselves because of the word? Therefore, blessed are they who humble themselves without being compelled to be humble. Or rather, in other words, blessed is he that believeth in the word of God and is baptized without stubbornness of heart." And so it just goes on to say, like, the people who just hear the word of God and just change because they know it's the right thing to do, those are the people who are going to be more blessed. They don't have to go through as many trials of God, getting mad at them and saying, "Hey, listen up, focus up. You're doing this wrong." They just, the whole time they're going through, they're reading the scriptures, listening to the conference and applying it, and they're just receiving blessings all the time. So they're even more blessed. So I guess the challenge is to make sure that we're not being compelled to progress, and that we're just doing it because, we love God and we know it's the right thing. So that's my spiritual thought. Say in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Well, thanks.
When I was a kid, I remember talking to my dad about that because I had read that and I was like, I don't want to be like an idiot and have to be compelled to be humble. Like, why would I want God to like punish me because I'm dumb? Like, I want to be the one who's like ready to do what's right. Like, I remember talking to my dad and he was just like, I can't even believe you're like thinking about this. Like, you're like 12 years old. Like, Nick. And I was like, I just don't want to like have to be punished for like not getting it. Like, I just want to do what's right. And my dad was like, "You're the man." And I was like, okay.
He's like, "I raised a good son." That's awesome.
All right.
Questions?
Let's do this.
It's all right. Tommy emailed me back. He said he's going to be coming on in a second.
Okay.
All right. So choose a student to read the following aloud as the group follows along. I guess I'll read it. So far in this course, we have seen a few common threads and takeaways. Founders matter. Experience, passion, and vision shape the business and can make the difference between success and failure. Business plan at the founding stage of the company is a collection of hypotheses. In other words, guesses. Startups create value by systematically testing hypotheses and making changes to the plan when the test results indicate a need to change. Early tests tell us a lot about the viability of a business and where more information is needed. Previous cases analyzed business models the founders had already chosen. Now we get to see a company at the moment of choice. So vote, which business model option do you favor?
I vote data analytics.
Me too.
I voted for the razor blade one.
You guys said the data analytics.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was the third model, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I voted for the razor as well.
Yeah. And let's see. So give each person who voted a chance to share why he voted the way they did. If a choice is left without someone voting for it, discuss as a group the pros and cons of that choice as well, specifically for each alternative. Discuss the following. All right. Let's go over the first strategy first and just talk about the pros and cons of that, since none of us chose that one.
Yeah.
So the traditional sales strategy. So the number of potential customers, they wouldn't have as many potential customers because they'd be selling it for pretty expensive, like $40,000.
Yeah, it was $40,000 for the machine, and then the test cartridges would be $500 to $1,000 each.
Yeah.
So they would just be trying to steal customers from like other people who other
And
companies already have sequencers or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So which customers would be expected to pay for the product? The research centers.
Just like the high end, the guys who get like government grants and stuff like that. That's what it said.
Yeah.
So the competitors are like Illumina and Life. What was the other one? Life what?
I don't remember.
LifeLock.
LifeLock. Oh, shoot! I lost my thing.
Life Technologies.
Life Technologies.
It just talked about how the competitors, the last time someone tried to do that, they just lowered their prices until the competitor didn't have a chance, and then once they were out of the market, they upped their prices again.
Yeah, push them out.
Which is probably what would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the founder's goals. So I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name. What's his name? Hassim?
Yeah.
Esfanpurior or something.
Yeah, he's from Iran.
Yeah, let's call him Steven.
So his goal was basically just, he didn't really care that much about money, but he just wanted to make a difference in the world of medicine.
Yeah.
So, and he's not really sure how he wants to do that. He just wants to make a difference.
Yeah.
And then investors' goals, pretty much just to make money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that route is the safest route or the safer route.
Yeah, like short term, it's the financially the safest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they'll probably get pushed out of the industry pretty quick because of the bigger competitors. And
Right.
so,
Or get acquired.
Baden and Devin, do you guys want to talk about why you chose the data analytics strategy?
Go ahead, Devin.
Sure.
Take
Yeah,
it away.
I picked data analytics mainly because just his vision with it, and I like just from a business standpoint, we're talking about creating a database filled with all these gene prints, just like everybody's gene, these different genes, and you can study them and all this different stuff. And so you've got all these research companies out there who want to be your customers anyway, who will be purchasing the thing so that they can be putting in their own genes and doing their own studies. But if you can have a database that compiles everybody's, then what kind of subscription fees can you charge? What kind of access can you charge and increase prices? And I just think that you can reach an incredible, you've got such a large customer base, as opposed to the couple hundred customers with the traditional strategy. Now you're literally reaching the world, in this new emerging industry of just DNA study and different things like that. And so that was kind of why I liked it, was just kind of the vision he had with it, as well as being able to just provide a cheap, just get the product out there, and then start compiling data and let people pay you for your infrastructure. So that's why I picked it.
I picked it for pretty much the same thing as well. Just the vision that it was creating. I thought it was cool how with that he's going to be able to. There's a quote in there that talked about how like the big database is kind of the future of where that industry is going. And so I think he could make a bigger influence by just getting the machine out, making it cheap for people to analyze the data. And then anyone who can afford the machine can at least purchase the data. Anyone who wants to conduct research about some of these things, if the DNA has been sequenced already, they can just go on and get the sequence. And so I thought that was really cool in it, because someone who is paying $40,000 for a machine, however much for the test cartridges, they're not going to want to share the data that they got as much. And so, because it's, they paid for it, it's theirs. And so if they could just make a huge database, I think it would further the idea of medicine, I think accomplish his goal a lot.
Also, just my idea of gaining market share, the traditional and the razor blade, like I guess the razor blade thing hadn't been as tapped yet, but the data and then compiling and just like making that a thing, I felt like they could just really grab the market share there, and then just them be the like identity of data or DNA data, stuff like that. So I don't know, that was just kind of my thought with that too.
Cool. What did you guys? Why did you choose razor? What?
Are you guys getting a video call from Tommy?
Yeah.
No.
Should we accept it or no?
Doesn't he?
Yeah,
he needs to come to
Tommy.
this one somehow.
Yeah, I sent him the invitation like 3 times. He's not getting it.
Because this is the one that's recording.
Right. All right.
It may have been the same thing that happened to me. I couldn't get into it last time once you guys were in.
Yeah, or maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, it still says that my invitations were sent, though, when I send it to him.
Well, I mean, I got on last time when you guys were live, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does anyone have his number or anything?
No, I don't.
Can you just chat with him on the Gmail chat?
I'm emailing him right now. He said he thinks something is wrong with his account. He's not getting the invitations. What did you do last time, Devin? You went on your phone or your iPad or something?
Yeah, I think I didn't know where to look.
Where'd you find it?
Because I didn't get an email, but I went into, so you go into Google Hangouts, you go to that, whatever, type that in, and then on the left-hand side, there's a little thing that you can click, and it gives you a drop-down list, and you can click on invites, and it was hidden in there. It didn't like show up as a new invite or anything, but it was just there, and then I was able to open it.
He's just gonna call me, and I'm gonna put him on speaker, sending him my phone number.
All right.
All right. Do you want to go first, Jackson, or?
Yeah, I'll go first. So reading through all the different options, it was like, for me, it was like a really big or a hard decision trying to go for either like the data analytics or the razor and razor blade. And I ultimately went with the razor and razor blade. The reason for that is because of basically it was talking about like the main or it would open up new markets because of that business model. And looking at it from, I guess, like a business perspective, he's an incoming business into something that's already established. So he's going to be a competitor. And so by having the prices with the machine, as it says, between 5,000 to 7,000.
Hey, talking about that, man. Something's wrong with my internet, I think.
No worries. Sorry, Jackson, just a second.
You're fine.
Yeah, so we started the group meeting already, Tommy.
Okay.
So Jackson is just giving his reason for why he picked the second business strategy, and then I'm going to go, and then I'll have you go after me.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So basically with like the razor and razor blade, having the cost of the machine between 5,000 to 7,000, and also the test cartridges, they're still making money with, it said that they have like a 50% margin on the test cartridges. So they'd still be making money, and in addition, they would also be opening new markets and having like higher volume of sales for each one of that market, each one of those markets.
Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with Jackson. So I picked razor blade strategy. I mean, I was really torn between the two, data analytics and razor blade, but I ended up going with razor blade because I think they're going to run out of money before they can break even on their cash flow for the third strategy, just because they're spending like $700,000 a month on like operations, and I don't think they're going to be able to make enough revenue. Like doing the data analytics is going to take up a lot more money, and I don't like their sales are going to be, they're selling the machine for less, they're selling the cartridges for less. So I think it's too big of a risk right now. But for the razor blade strategy, I think they're going to expand the market a ton because of how cheap the machine is. I mean, hospitals, universities, pharmaceutical companies, like so many more, like they'll have a ton of more customers because it's small. Hospitals will have room for it. And then I think because they're going to make a ton of revenue because of the cartridges, I think once they're established and all those, like the market is bigger, I think that then they can probably start collecting data for a database. So I think both are a really good idea, but initially I'm going for the second strategy.
Yeah, I was really torn between both as well. And what I know data analytics is that it's a new market that nobody has. So I mean, it would have free roam, but yeah, the hard thing would be to have the money to sustain that way. And with the razor way, they can open also new markets as well. So I think that mix of two would be perfect. But and then I'll have to agree with you guys with the razor because it's gonna be hard for them to be on loans and looking for money for such a long time before they even make a profit.
Could you guys hear him?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks,
Yeah.
Tommy.
Thank you.
Let's see, what's next?
Do you guys hear that feedback on my end?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just like trying to speak while thinking, and it's not working because I just hear myself twice.
Should we move on to the next section?
Yeah, so it says using a polling tool that allows students to vote and see the overall results. So now we just need to go through the Excel model. I guess that we created before class and compare answers as a group.
Did you guys make an Excel model for that?
Wow, I just used what they gave us.
Yeah, I did that too.
What do you mean, just like numbers from the place?
Let's see.
So EBIAT is what? Earnings before interest after taxes.
Right.
So if we increase the earnings over sales, is that like the ratio?
If you increase that, then payback time decreases, so you make more money if that increases.
I thought that payback time would increase because if you're earning more, you're not like putting into the business, right? Or is it talking about the company's? It must be talking about the company's earnings, so it would decrease.
But let's see, it's asking payback time. I think because just on that Excel model that they created, if you go to that section and you just put in a higher number, the payback period decreases. So you're making more money, like you said.
Oh, okay.
And so if that decreases, the payback period increases, you're making less money. And if it remains the same, I guess.
Gotcha.
I guess we didn't use a thing for that.
I don't know. I don't really know what that is.
We could just all type our answers in the chat and just press enter at the same time.
Oh, where did Jackson go? Oh, shoot. Jackson and Tommy are not on here anymore. Oh, wait. Tommy's on the phone. Are you still there, Tommy?
Yeah.
All right. So Jackson's...
Yeah, I remember watching a few videos about that, about the Excel sheet. And I just remember the main thing I remember was just like, if your sales went up, it would take you longer to pay everything back since you're spending more money on sales. So if you had it more steady, if it was more steady, it was easier for you to pay everything back. If that makes sense.
So yeah. With the Excel spreadsheet, you put it in and the payback is less time. The EBIT divided by sales increase.
All right. Cool.
If you want, I can bring it and show you.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Keep going.
yeah, if NOA over sales increases cash flow, so NOA is like something about assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it stand for?
Oh, dang. I forgot.
It's like, is it net?
It's something about assets.
Net operating assets or something like that? Or I'll look it up real quick. Net operating assets.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if net operating assets sales increases,
Hey guys, sorry, my iPad died.
that's right. I was wondering where you went.
So if that increases, the payback period also increases.
So cash flow will decrease.
Yeah, so you'll be making less money.
All right. Just because you're investing on more, you're spending more money on more assets.
Yes. I didn't quite understand, but I know that. I know that's what the thing says.
Okay.
Or the spreadsheet.
Did everyone else get the same thing?
Just now. Be right back. Come.
So are we still on the same question?
We're on the part where we're doing the polling. So the one that says if NOA over sales increases, cash flow does what?
Okay.
So we just went over the part where it says if we increase earnings before interest after taxes, sales, and hold everything else equal, time to pay back, and we got it decreases.
Okay.
And then for the NOA one, we got that cash flow will decrease.
Okay.
All right. Can you guys see that graph with the curve on it?
No.
Because mine's blank.
So is mine.
So I was hoping that one of you guys would be able to see it. But
So I would probably say segment C through E.
nah, dude. A through B.
Definitely throughout, no question.
No, we need to settle on a single response here, guys.
None of the above, actually. None of the above.
Just go A through F. I think.
Oh, perfect. There it is.
We have to be right with that one.
And you guys are geniuses.
You don't get to a 400 level class being an idiot.
That's true.
Should we just skip that then?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the next section. So, discuss as a group, what strategies have we seen that flatten or lengthen the cash flow curve? Specifically, try to draw the cash flow curves for Dr. John's products, Rent the Runway and Dropbox as they were described in the cases. Just make a rough guess as to the shapes of each of these cash flow curves. Wow, that's tough.
I think at least Rent the Runway had a longer payback period because with that one, she had to buy tons of inventory and tons of storage space, and she hired a lot of people. And so it seemed like it would have taken a long time to pay that back. Dropbox, it seemed they were just paying their employees. I don't know how much overhead there was, so that might have been a faster payback.
I think Dr. John's would have the fastest payback, I think, because they were teaming up. Well, they were thinking about teaming up with Crest or whatever. And so that would cut costs for marketing because they're already going to have the recognition and stuff. So I think that they would have the fastest payback. Yeah, Rent the Runway, I think I think you're right about that. They had to spend a ton on inventory.
Yeah, I mean, with Rent the Runway, most of their business was inventory. Dropbox was very limited inventory, and with, I guess, with the concerns to the strategy with the cash flow curve with this company, it would kind of be, I guess, similar to Rent the Runways, because a lot of where they would be making revenue is through the test cartridges or the storing of the data, which costs money. So.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Could this company be able to?
I think that it depends on what strategy they choose, but if GenapSys chooses the razor blade strategy, I think that they would reach their payback really fast because of how big the market's going to get. Because like Rent the Runway, I mean, the market wasn't that huge. It was mainly just like New York, like fashion, you know. It's not as big as all the hospitals and all the research facilities that would buy the Genius GenapSys sequencer.
Agreed.
Okay, so let's go to number 2.
Yep.
So next, describe to each other what would happen to Dr. John's if they had decided to build an independent company rather than get acquired. What activities would John have had to do differently? What impact on the cash flow curve would these activities have? Flatten or steepen, shallow or deepen, increase or decrease time to payback?
So I think it would deepen a little bit, because I'm reading in the case, most of his companies he was building them and then sell them off. So I think in his mind he had something like a short-term company, and he would have to change a lot of his plans if he was planning to keep it on for the long run. So I think he'd have to borrow some more money, and I think it would have been a deeper, and his time to pay back would have been a little longer.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Agreed. Well said.
Anyone else have anything to say, or do you want to move on?
That was good.
Yeah, it's good.
I think you summed it up.
Yeah.
So number 3, discuss the same for Rent the Runway. If the founders of Rent the Runway had been able to convince the dress designers to retain ownership of the dresses, what impact would that have had on RTR's cash flow curve? Flatten or steepen, shallow or deepen, increase or decrease?
I think it would have increased their cash flow because, like we were talking earlier, they wouldn't have had to buy as much inventory. And so the dip wouldn't have been as deep. It would have been steeper as it came out of the dip. It is really trippy hearing yourself twice. It messes me up when I talk.
I know.
My guess is that it's coming from the phone.
Yeah, that could be it, because I'm not hearing myself twice.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. You guys are all hearing yourself twice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
When I talk, is it going twice?
Nope.
No.
Oh. That's weird.
Sweet. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
Good thing the video is going on my feed, because otherwise it would be going. Everyone would be going twice.
That'd be annoying to watch.
Yeah, seriously. All right, so are we on number 4?
Yeah.
All right, what decisions did Drew Houston make in Dropbox that favorably impacted the cash flow curve? I've already forgotten like everything from these cases.
Yeah, I can't recall anything.
Didn't he only hire a couple people at the beginning?
Oh, yeah, he had 12 employees, was it?
Yeah, it was a small number, and they were all just programmers or something like that. So I think it was kind of cheap to start up. I don't know. I don't remember there being a lot of beginning costs in that.
Was it those guys that didn't have like a salary or something from the get-go? Or am I being crazy right now?
I think that was the venture capitalist guys.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
There's so many cases.
Did Dropbox take money from anyone, like venture capital or whatever?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it was just two guys who started it in their basement.
Yeah,
some
I
reason.
think that it was. I think they didn't borrow any money, so that's a reason that they would reach payback really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
positively influenced it.
Let's move on. So now let's look at the choices GenapSys has from a cash flow standpoint. For each business model option under consideration, compare the following. Net present value. If some of the options have similar net present value, which is riskier? Is it advisable to take additional risk for a similar NPV? I mean, to take a bigger risk, the NPV has to be really big.
Mhm.
So I think if the NPV is the same for all three of the strategies, then I would pick either one of the first two.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
Because the risk of strategy 3 is going to be the highest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second part, it talks about what GenapSys will do to raise funds to support each option. It was talking, I mean, is this regards to raising funds to help sell the products, or like what the revenue they would get for each product?
I think it's getting funds to be able to start.
To start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they already have the funds because of
They got grants,
capital.
didn't they?
Yeah.
In the Excel spreadsheet, it talked about how they had someone who was willing to donate like 20 million or something like that.
Yeah,
But that wasn't part of the case.
They did get a ton of money.
So, I mean, with that 20 million, because on that one model, there was a graph that it showed. I can't. Oh, it was on the page 3, the financing implications of the Excel spreadsheet. It shows like the curves of the three options. And so it goes on the first one, it only goes down to like the dip stops at 10,000. I think they'd be good with the 20,000 that investor was willing to pay. On the second one, it goes down to like 11,000. And on the last one, it goes way down to like 70. So on that one, they'd have to raise an additional amount to the 20,000.
Gotcha.
So what option is the most attractive to investors, do you guys think?
I would say we use the first one or the second one since it's the most money up front. With the third one, it's not going to see money for a while. With the second method, it makes money, and hopefully it can bring into new cities, new markets. It'd be really good for them, but yeah, I guess the second one would be best. Unless you want to see quick money, which then that'd be the first one.
I think the first one's going to be our established market, so it's like we know there's a market for that type of stuff.
Now there's money.
So
I guess the question I have to answer that question with another question is, it would just depend on the investors and what they want. Because, you know, when you're investing, there's high risk, high reward, but then there's also low risk, low reward. And so, and there's several different investors. I mean, they have the, it says that they raised over $80 million, and a lot of it was Capital China Growth Fund and different funds. So it's just, I mean, I guess it's like from which perspective of the fund manager or capital investment are you looking at it from? Do you want, I guess if you want lower risk, then it would be the first one because it's more of an established market. And if you want high risk, it would be the second.
Yeah.
Well, that's stingy.
So how much of the company will the founder have to give up to reach the goal?
Is that somewhere in the document, or is that something we're just coming up with on our own?
There was a section on the Excel spreadsheet that talked about that. Now that I look at it, I think I did it wrong. But let's see.
You're gonna have to get an iPhone 7. Twist my arm.
Okay. So the equation to find it out is the 20 million that they earn, and then you divide that by the additional amounts that you have to raise. And so if on the last ones, like we were talking, the dip on the Excel spreadsheet only goes down to 10 million and then 11 million on the other one, the 20 million covers that. And so they should keep owning, because it'll be 20 million divided by nothing, which is, they'd still own all the company. But on the last one, they, in addition to that 20 million, they have to earn an additional like 60 million. And so if you go 20 divided by 60, they're only owning like 30%. 33.
Well, what's
Like technology with phones these days.
so the third strategy? You'll have to give up the most of the company.
Yeah.
Pop up with Stalin.
That's because it's going to take a lot more money.
How much would it be, or how much would they have to give away in the
I guess the first time you got
razor and razor blade option?
I don't, it says, so you have the 20 million and then you divide it by the amount that you have to, above that you have to earn.
Oh, okay.
And so since the graph that they gave us only goes up to 11 million, I don't think they have to earn any additional capital to be able to start. So they would own all of it. I don't know if that's right, but.
Got it. Well, just from, looking at it from ownership, if you only own 30% of your company, you don't own your company. You only, so you won't, whoever owns the larger share of that, whether it's 31%, they're the ones that will be making the decisions. So,
Yeah, from that perspective, if you want to maintain ownership, then I'd say the razor and razor would be the best.
What do you think, Devin? Are you still pretty set on the third one, or?
As far as the investment goes in maintaining our ownership of the business, I think honestly I feel like the first one's probably going to be our best bet at maintaining, like if he wants to maintain control of how his machines are operated and produced or whatever, I think that's going to be the safest for him. But I still think I don't know, I'm kind of on board with his vision of it's not so much money driven as it is making a difference. And but I guess it worries me that he would have to give away a lot of the business, or majority of the business, in order to a possibility. So that kind of sucks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that, I mean, to argue against number 2, razor blade, is just like you said, is his vision of the company. And you said that the core value of the company is to change the way healthcare was delivered to patients. And in the case study, it stated that the companies that controls information is the one that will succeed and change how healthcare is delivered. So it's kind of give and take. It's either you kind of want to follow that, you know, because the third option is, you know, controlling the data, is having that database and the data analytics. But if they don't own enough of the company, then they won't be able to fulfill that quote dream or their core value of retaining that information. So
That's why, like, I don't know, that I was like really torn with that, just because what you read, Jackson, about him saying like he wanted to make a difference and he wanted to, yeah, he knew how valuable the database would be, but I just don't think they're gonna make enough money off of it. Like, they need to pay back some of their debt, make money off of the razor blade strategy, and then I think they could start collecting that data once they've broken even and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you can tell from what he's saying that he wants to choose number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what do we choose?
You should just get a 6+ if they even have those.
I'm still sticking with number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I have, and I love it.
I think I'm with you guys. I think number 2 is going to be, you know, and it's not like you can't take the data that you receive there, because I mean they will be receiving data, and maybe they do that as their initial business push and get the technology out there,
Right.
Gain their market share, and then with that and the clientele or customer base that they have, then they can start the data, you know, once they have some money to rock and roll.
Something I didn't understand was why couldn't they just keep the pricing from strategy 2 and just do the same pricing for strategy 3 and collect data? Because the price of the machine at $5,000 to $7,000 is still like way less than any other sequencer. So they could charge a little bit more than that and still collect data, and they could charge $200 for the cartridges and still grow the market.
Yeah, and they would also need more supplies if they were going to go the data way, since they're talking about like Amazon and all these companies having all these big like all the information, so they would need more money, even more money if they were going to go this route. So yeah, I don't know why they wanted to rent out machines for like $2,000 and sell them for $3,000 when they could just mix both plans, and I think they could work out pretty well.
And it did talk about in the case like creating a hybrid between plans. So
Mm-hmm. I just think it would stink to run a company that you have a vision for, but you're not really accomplishing that vision that you created, that you want.
yeah.
You know,
But I don't think it's possible for
Yeah.
him to do that by doing the first study, by maintaining control. He's not going to get to where he wants.
He's not gonna
I-
end up in the first one.
I agree that the best decision is number 2. If there was a possible way to get the data, even though you're
Yeah.
selling at the number 2 prices, and then be able to sell that data to companies and small hospitals or pharmaceuticals that need it. Awesome.
Or even provide, some of the like little devices, like just give them to certain research facilities and have a couple of just donated those things, and then let them compile the data for you. Some of the bigger ones. I don't know. I think there are ways around it to move his vision forward and still make money.
Yeah,
I think so too.
but
I agree.
I'd say we choose number 2 though.
Yeah, if you were looking at the exhibit number 11, it says like a research facility or a diagnostics facility. They said like the largest firms would buy up to 100 machines, and they use 1 cartridge a day. So the 100 machines for one company, and they test each machine 1 time a day. So that's 1 cartridge a day for like the whole year. That's going to be a ton of revenue just in cartridges. And then, so that's just diagnostics. And then there's the research, there's the pharmaceutical, there's the schools, hospitals. So all of those, some of them don't use 1 cartridge a day, but that's just an example.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I say we go with that then.
Any last words?
I think that's
That's all right. I think what may have happened is when we start the video, I send the invitation out. It sometimes when we're already live on. Yeah, no worries. I don't have your number, so I'll just text you for the next meeting. It's kind of slow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have what is that thing?
Paper thing?
Yeah, I don't think we have group meeting this week. The rest of the week.
Oh, good.
So you guys, it's good to do Wednesday again next week.
Yep.
Yeah, it depends on the time, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just text you guys like Tuesday, and we can figure out a time.
Okay, cool.
Wait, did we say no Friday meeting? Sorry, I was zoned out for a sec.
Yeah, no, there's not a meeting on Friday.
Cool. Cool.
All right, sweet guys.
Okay, guys.
Sounds good.
All right, rock on.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.